Hey guys, Clint Jivoin here. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about char cloth and then move right into using that with flint and steel. So to make char cloth, starting things off, all you need is, I use jeans. I cut jeans up just in little squares like that. Any kind of 100% cotton, a bandana, or smog, anything like that, it'll all work. I've even heard of guys doing it with mushrooms, certain funguses. I mean, you're basically just making charcoal. So to do that, you need some kind of a metal container. Let me get the haversack out here. Now, the Altoids tins work great. I don't always use this. I carry it in this a lot. Any candy tin, a pop can, a beer can, even a stainless steel water bottle or cooking pot. The idea is that you let the gases get out. So with something like this, you'd poke a hole right in the top there, where I've got that. Poke a hole in it, put your jean material in there, close that up tight, toss it in the coals of the fire, and let it sit there. And it'll start smoking and flaming, whatever. When it stops flaming and smoking, take it out. You know, obviously don't reach in with your hand and grab it. But you don't want to open it yet. You don't want to open it. My rule of thumb is don't open it until you can pick up the container and it's cool enough to touch. Because if you open it too quick, your char cloth's going to be all burning. It's just going to be embers in there. So just keep it shut, you know, other than that hole there. Keep it shut until it's cool enough to touch and pull it out. Now when you pull it out, you should end up with something like that. Okay, just like black jean material. All right, that's what you want. Okay, so with that, you would take your flint and your steel. When I kind of showed you guys this last night, this is just a piece of flint rock. You know, identify flint, break off a piece. Usually it's going to be inside some other big chunk of rock. Just start breaking rocks. You know, and if you're not sure if it's flint, just take any kind of metal and just start scraping that. Just see if you get a spark off of it, you know. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to take our char cloth. It's one of these knuckle buster things, as I call them. I like to just take it and set that char cloth right on top of the piece of flint. And now you got to be patient with this sometimes. You know, you'll get it on the first go, and the next time you go to do it, it'll take you a minute and a half, all right? So bear with me. We'll try to get one going. There we go. We got one. All right. So at this point, you got some time. Put your stuff back in your haversack or your backpack or your pocket, whatever you're carrying your stuff in. That way you don't start losing stuff. It's the last thing you want to do. Okay, so as you can see, that's glowing red hot, right? So you take that. I usually let it grow a little bit. Now, you could do this, maybe not as easily, but any kind of carbon steel or anything like that, you should be able to get a spark off of it with a piece of flint. So, you know, I've used my axe before, you know, but it's not going to be as easy as just having a regular steel that's designed for it. So, this is a pretty massive tinder bundle. We don't need all that. You know, you got time. Now, if the wind's blowing, this thing's going to want to light up really quick when it's in your hand, and it's hot. So, this is just grass out of the field across the pond here. You know, just let that sit in there. And you shouldn't have to do a whole lot with it, but we'll try it. Got some grass in my mouth there. All right, now it's taken. All right. You know, and this is how, before matches were real popular, you know, before lighters, this is how they'd start their fires, you know. It's kind of a step up from doing a hand drill or a bow drill method. It's super effective, but as small as those sparks are, you're not going to get those to take anything else but a piece of char cloth. At least I don't know of anything else that's going to take that well. So, you know, that'll burn as long as the grass would normally burn if you hit it with a lighter or a ferro rod. So we'll go ahead and put that out. So yeah, that's char cloth and flint and steel, kind of the brief overview of it, you know. So I just carry a piece of flint in my pack at all times. It works great, man. You just get sparks off of it. It's fun, you know, show off for the ladies, whatever. We got a little bit of a cold front coming in, so I'm gonna get a fire going. But like I said, you can take, this is just a carbon Mora, you know, $15 little knife, but it's carbon. Now I lost my flint. There it is. You know, and you can take and do virtually the same exact thing. And you probably won't be able to see these sparks. They'll be fewer and far between when you're doing it with your knife. I'll typically take my knife, say this Altoids can is like my log or whatever, I'll take it and I'll kind of stab that into the wood and I'll set that char cloth right underneath there. You know, and then I'll just, you know, and with this, it seems like the bigger piece of flint you got works better, you know, and all you're doing, you're scraping. You'll flake the flint too, but you're just kind of knocking little pieces of, you know, steel off of this knife. So, you know, if it's a cheap knife, great. Beat the crap out of it. You know, if you've got a knife that you really care about, you know, I wouldn't go hitting on it with rocks. But for something like a Mora, you know, an all-purpose everyday knife, you know, if you don't want to carry a big steel around, the steels are cool, they look cool, they're not really that heavy, but it's one of those things where if you're one of those backpackers that, you know, cuts the covers front and back off your books to save weight, you know, it's probably not for you, and you probably ought to just get a carbon knife, you know, and just carry that with you everywhere. So you can see my wiki up in the background here. We're getting that ready. That's the one I'm planning on staying in. You know, I was going to build a brand new one out in the field, but I got to thinking about it, and this one's been here for about a year, so most of the work's done. I just got to do some maintenance. You know, obviously I need to get leaves and put some more vines through. It's been there for about a year and a half, so it's rotted out pretty well. But the logs themselves, they're great, you know, and I'll do a review on that at some point when I get around to it. But for now, I'm going to get some tea going and maybe do a little bit of fishing if the weather holds off. This has been Clint Jivoin. Appreciate you guys watching.